That pretty much tops the worst pronunciation ever. I like a good enthusiastic crowd, and I think we should all take sexual advantage of it, but I don't think I can do you all, so I'll tell you a story instead. A couple years back, a friend of mine was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and decided he didn't want to live there anymore, so he asked me to fly out and drive back across country with him. So I flew into Birmingham, Alabama. Now, I've lived in Europe, pretty much on both coasts, the Midwest, but me and the American South had never met. And good Lord, you get off the plane in Birmingham, and every stereotype I've ever heard about the South was right there. It was beautiful. First person I see, barefoot, pregnant lady. And she was waiting for, I think, both her garbage bags to come down in the baggage claim. I think she had two. So, anyway, my friend is very tall and very white. So, of course, I had to yell Ebonics at him when I first saw him because that would embarrass him. He was wearing new sneakers, so I said, "Hey man, them some nice new kicks." And he had heard that before, so I actually found him that way. So we get in the car and we got to fuel up, and I get to probably the funniest gas station I've ever been to. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I immediately name the people I'm around, at least the ones I can see, like total strangers. So the first guy I run into is probably about 5'6", 150 pounds, soaking wet. He's got his leather jacket kind of on, baseball cap at an angle that's never been done before. So immediately I named him Thug Nation because he was a roughing. And he was so cool that he wouldn't even hold the door open for me when I walked in behind him. He opened it like so he could limbo through it, and my fat ass couldn't fit through it afterwards. So I just reached up and tore it out of his hand and looked at him like, "What?"
Let me rename you Stain.
So, in Alabama, apparently the gas station's allowed to have slot machines in them. I didn't know this. And there's this one guy bouncing around who I immediately named Meth Addict because he was just off the walls. And he kept asking everybody for a quarter. That's all he wanted. It was his mission in life was to get a quarter. So finally somebody broke down, hands this guy a quarter, and he goes back and he plays the slot machine. And about 3 minutes later, we all realized why this man wanted a quarter so bad, because he won like $1.50. And he finally was able to buy what I think is the beverage of choice in that particular place. They call it a Fody. It comes in a lovely paper bag. It's beautiful, and apparently it's like $1.25. So never seen anybody quite so happy over a malt beverage, frankly. And there's another guy in line who I named Snoop Dogg's grandpa because he looked exactly like him, except no chiclets. Just not a tooth to be found. As a matter of fact, when I walked in, the tooth count went up to about 40. And I'm packing about 32 of those, so it was a sad. So I get up to go pay for my Thank you. I get to pay for my Pepsi or whatever I was buying. For the first time in my life, I heard Cajun Ebonics being spoken to me. And if you've never heard that, it'll scare you until you see $2.17 written on the thing, and you know, okay, the man wishes to have money now. Other than that, I wouldn't really have known how to continue the transaction at that point. So we get in the car and we drive off, having not gotten killed, which was nice, even though I goofed on everybody in the gas station. And we get to Texas, and I don't know what the deal is with Texas, but in San Antonio, they actually have a sign that says, "Don't mess with Texas." And it's not like graffiti or a cardboard box that somebody's got to scroll on. It's an actual metal sign that somebody carved, like the same place where they make the yield signs and stuff. And what I want to know is what constitutes messing with Texas anyway, and what are the repercussions if you do so? Are they just going to make the drive through it longer? Or, I mean, do you not have the right size belt buckle? Don't mess with Texas. So I'm not going to mess with Texas is what I found out. But I still don't know what that means. I figured maybe if I stopped talking, the microphone would continue to work. So, I'll talk about probably the most embarrassing sexual experience I've ever had in my life, because it seems poignant at this point. And if the four of them are here, no, so there's this neighborhood bar, and back in the day I used to be a plumber, and me and my plumber boys would go there, and our running joke was, well, we clean up nice, and which is not hard to do when you've been covered head to toe in crap the whole day. So we kind of got our eyes set on this one lady, mostly because she had like several teeth in a row without big gaps, which was delicious. And we talked her into coming back to our palatially appointed apartment complex to hang out in the jacuzzi, or cream of botulism soup, whatever you want to call that thing that we sat in and bubbled. And eventually, after about a week or so of her and I talking back and forth, it turns out she lives over the wall in this little townhouse thingy. She invites me over, and we go in and drink a lot. And she goes, well, you can stay over, but I just really want to cuddle. I'm like, I'm always the guy people just want to cuddle with. What's up? I mean, these people right here think about cuddling with me right now.
That's it, baby.
Don't lie. So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. So we climb in bed, and apparently she sleeps naked, even for cuddling. All right, word, that works. And so I decided to oblige, and we're laying there, and eventually, apparently, even the cuddling got too boring for her. And so she's like, what the hell, let's, do it. Apparently, when you drink an entire bottle of rum, that has this strange repercussion where if you then find yourself later on, shall we say, orally pleasing a lady, there's an above average chance you might fall asleep. So I did, I fell asleep, and that was below average apparently. I don't think I'm going to make her diary. So the next night on the phone, we're talking on the phone, and I'm all apologetic and stuff, and she's like, man, that's never happened to you before, and I'm like, well, that's a load of shit there, but all right, whatever. And, but she won't ever shut up. And so about an hour or so into the call, apparently I was awakened by the sound that your phone makes when somebody's hung up a long time ago. Apparently I fell asleep on the phone talking to her during the apology, and that didn't help matters. I didn't see her again. So yeah, that was bad, but excruciatingly embarrassing. Mostly for her though, because I get to tell her on stage in front of people and she doesn't. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, and then let you marinate on that till next time. Thank you.